I hope everyone's had something to eat and we're ready to get started. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Martin Rapaport.
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully it's a lot better than last year where things kind of ran out on us in the beginning, in the middle, whatever. Hopefully you can see our screens here and we're all set. First, I want to say thank you to Sherry. I want to say thank you to the entire Rapaport team. We have about 30 people here. And I want you to know that Martin Rapaport is just one little screw in a big machine. And the people that work for us at Rapaport, all 230 of them, are really important and good and valuable, and they make things happen. So it isn't really just about me, it's about the team. Some background about Rapaport before I start so you get an idea of what's going on and so that my team says, okay, do this show again next time because it does cost us a few dollars. We established in 1978 about 230 employees, over 20,000 clients in 121 countries, and we are in the added value service business. So we sort of watch the diamond industry, we are active in it, but we try never to own any diamonds. Now, I think the most important thing I can say today is that we are a value-based organization. We believe in ethical, transparent, competitive, efficient markets. That's why we're here. That's what we do. That's what we've done for 40 years. I think July 18th will be 40 years since we started publishing the Rap, and these values have carried us through from day one. 4 basic divisions, although there's more and we're growing: information services, that price list, the magazine, RapNet, the electronic trading network, diamond grading and certification. We work closely with JCK for many years. Auctions and trading services. We are the largest recycler of diamonds in the world today, selling about, through auction, over 500,000 carats of polished diamonds. I could go through more analysis here, but I do want to mention we've also started something called Rapaport Academy, which is an online video training thing for not gemology, but for how to deal in markets, how to buy and sell. There's a lot of different things that I could say here about what we do. RapNet, about $7.8 billion of diamonds listed every day, 15,600 members in 94 countries. That's a lot of people. So we have customer service. It's sort of, we become a big little company, you could say. RapX is coming. You want to fasten your seatbelts for that. It's going to be a real exchange with investment diamonds. RapLab is very important to us because it enables the Rapaport Group to independently grade and qualify the diamonds. And like I mentioned, the auction and the tender business, which is a pretty big business these days. So the issue in front of us today, and before I say anything else, I want to just mention here, I want to welcome a very special guest, the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources of Sierra Leone, Dr. Maury Magnier, is here with us today. He will be on stage shortly, and he has flown some 35 hours from Sierra Leone yesterday to be with us today. I'd like everybody to give him a hand. He's an amazing guy. Amazing guy. Amazing people. So the question is, what's our horizon? How far do you see if you have a jewelry store? Do you only see your belly button? Do you see your suppliers? What do you have to take into consideration if you're a retailer, if you're a dealer? And what we've seen that the rough world is jumping over and going into the retail world. If it's the Forever Mark, if it's Hearts of Fire, whatever it might be, what we see is that the people in the rough mining business are extremely interested in our retail sales business. They're going to the consumer. And we sit here as victims, as we can't do anything. We're just a bunch of so-called not connected jewelers, and it's sad. It's very sad because we're getting squeezed. And so what's the solution? The solution is for us at retail and in the dealer markets to go the other way. That's one of the reasons I'm so happy the minister is with me today. We have to start thinking about not just selling the stone and being served the meal. We have to go right into the damn kitchen. We have to create relationships. We have to understand what is going on in our business. And so today I'm going to speak about sourcing. I'm going to speak about where these diamonds come from. And I'm going to be a little bit harsh. I'll be a lot harsh because I am extremely unhappy with the current situation. So what relationships should retailers have with rough suppliers? Is rough beyond our horizon? Should we really understand what's going on in rough? How important is knowing where your diamonds come from? Do you care, or maybe you'll just be fed some Kimberly process piece of crap, and that's enough for me? I mean, how many people here think that the Kimberly process really covers your butt when it comes to being an ethical jeweler? How many people think that? God, good, God bless you. We've finally gotten to the point where we understand the bull from whatever comes out of the bull. Is source certification an added value? For many years, consumers don't care. But we didn't sell it. You didn't sell it and you said no one wants it. The challenge for us is to understand how important it is to know from where our diamonds come. It is really important. It's important for many reasons, but mostly it's important because it defines who we are as human beings. A little bit of a background before I bring up the minister and stuff. First of all, kimberlites are these big holes in the ground, fence them in. Pretty easy to control where the diamonds are coming from and where they're going to. According to the DDI, Development Diamond Initiative, the Diamond Development Initiative, I wanted to call it the Development Diamond Initiative. But in any case, 20% of the world's gem diamonds are produced by artisanal diggers. I'm not sure that that number is so correct, but there's quite a bit of the diamonds coming from the non-controlled environment, because alluvial diamonds scattered by ancient riverbeds literally are all over the place. They're in all those rivers. They're in all those bricks that people make to build schools. They're everywhere. And so when we start thinking about controlling or at least being able to make sure that we know where our diamonds are coming from, and they're coming from the artisanal sources, it becomes very hard. So alluvial diamonds are the diamonds that are washed out in ancient riverbeds, and artisanal diggers are the people who pan for them. 1.5 million diggers in Africa and South America. They generally support about 7 to 1. So you may be talking about something like 10 million people who live off of the, not just diamonds, but gold as well. So what do we do? What do we do? Should we just shut them out? Say, listen, I have to have a reasonable source of supply in my store. I've got a number of these mining companies with their RJC certificates and their other certificates. So why don't I just ignore the artisanal sector? Why should I take any risk? Why should I deal with these people? Essentially let them starve to death because I want to be ethical. I mean, that's the song sang by I don't know, the guys doing synthetic diamonds up there. I say, oh, we're more ethical, but what about the people? And this is the main point I need to bring out today. What about the people? All people. Is our business about hard rocks, or is our business about people? Is our business about relationships, or is business about little shiny pebbles? What is our business? Who are we? And what's really important to us? And I think every knowledgeable jeweler will tell you that the basis of the diamond and jewelry business is relationships with people, whether it's the relationship between the man giving the woman or giving the other man the piece of jewelry in that moment, that minute of create a moment that lasts forever of, wow, you love me and you gave me something very valuable. Wow. Is that our business? Or is it's an FVVS2 with a 57.5 and a... It's relationships, everybody. It's relationships not just between the man and the woman getting the jewelry. It's a relationship between the jeweler and that person buying the jewelry. It's a relationship between us and the artisanal digger. I want to remind you folks, those artisanal diggers are as much a part of this diamond industry, even though they're poor, even though they don't have clean water, even though many of their kids die before the age of 5 because they don't have clear water. They're as much a part of this industry as anyone sitting in this room today. And if we don't take responsibility for them, we deserve to have our business taken away from us by the mining companies. So, we can't shut them out. Should retailers trust governments to ensure the legitimacy of the diamonds they purchase? And you know, story, I have a lot of experience with Sierra Leone, but the story of Sierra Leone was interesting because in the old days, a digger that found a diamond wouldn't bring it to the government because the government would just rip it off. He'd sell it to a trader, a Lebanese trader usually, who would then move it out without any taxes being paid. So people say, hey, how come there's no water? How come there's no electricity? Hundreds of millions of dollars of diamonds were found in Kono district. Why is there no clean water? Well, no taxes were paid. Diamonds were smuggled. But wait a minute, if the diamond was smuggled, who bought them? You did, you did, you did, we did. But we don't take responsibility for that. No, we hide in Rodeo Drive. We don't take responsibility for what happens when we throw money into illicit markets. So I'm saying to you is that now is the time to say, no, we do trust governments, and that's why I'm so happy the minister is here. There's a new world taking place. There's a new motion. There's a new narrative, I would say. So I'll explain briefly the peace diamond concept. Basically, 5 of the poorest people in the world found the 709-carat diamond, at the time the 14th largest diamond in the world. And they were offered money, about $500,000, by a local buyer who was basically would have smuggled the diamond out. And, you know, this idea that they said, you know what, we're not going to give this diamond to this smuggler. We're going to deliver it to the president of the country. Got in the jeeps, went to the president, and they gave the diamond to the president of the country, which meant that the diggers put their trust and belief in the government of Sierra Leone. That's a big step. And the government of Sierra Leone didn't say, oh, thank you, I put it in my pocket and have a nice day. The president let everybody know what was going on, and then they got in touch with us, and we agreed to sell the diamond for free. No charge on the auction at all, anything, if in fact the money went to the government and the diggers. And in fact, that's what happened. Diamond was sold to Lawrence Graff for $6.5 million. And we got this point of legitimization. We got to this point of, you know, hey, you know, the digger can give the diamond to the government. The government, well, will sell it and get tax money. And the deal is that 25% of what the government gets. So here's the deal, and it's great. Sierra Leone's good about this. If you don't have a license, and most of these artisanal diggers are not going to have licenses, maybe they can't read, 60% goes to the government, 40% tax-free to the diggers. Think about the economic benefits that brings the community when these guys get like $2 million. And they buy shoes and pants, and they buy food and water and all kinds of different things. And that starts economic development at the micro level. So you're really helping these communities. But most importantly, the government has agreed that 25% of their 60%, 25% of the revenue will go to the villages. And so my son, Rio, was out there, I think last Monday night, if I'm not mistaken, or something, and they slept in the village. They went to Koryardum. They slept there. No water yet, no electricity, no schools, no medical, but they slept there to show that we are part of that community. We care about those people. And I'm so happy the minister's here today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a brief video to give you a sense of what the diggers are thinking. They can't be here today. And then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk with the minister for a few minutes, and we'll talk to Israel as well. So hopefully if I punch this thing here. 3.5 minutes.
This is Sierra Leone, West Africa. Sierra Leone, Conakry Street, West Africa. Not East Africa, not South Africa, not North Africa. Sierra Leone, West Africa, Sierra Leone.
With a population of 7.4 million people, Sierra Leone borders Guinea to the north and east, and Liberia to the southeast. Sierra Leone's life expectancy is rated at 50 years, one of the lowest in the world. With a gross domestic product of $4 billion, an estimated 70% of the population live under $2 a day. Sierra Leone is ranked one of the poorest countries in the world. Sierra Leone is a diamond-rich country. In 2015, 420,000 carats of diamond were exported from Sierra Leone, valued at $150 million US. But where's that money going? Apparently, very little of the money is benefiting the communities these diamonds come from. Sierra Leone is a country of optimism, hope, and opportunity. With 60% of Sierra Leone's youth unemployed, one can't help but wonder what potential Sierra Leone can offer the world if only conditions improve. On March 16, 2017, a 709-carat diamond was reportedly found in Sierra Leone. Immediately, the world showed interest, and with it the question, is the diamond found a fair trade diamond.
Because most of us, we are digging the diamond, but we don't know the details about the value of it, the type of diamond minerals that came out of this ground. This should have not been the condition of our country today. And some of them, we just hear about them going up and down, exporting and importing. But what we are expecting them, only and solely that they should bring development in this country.
We set out to Koyadu village to look for the pastor where the diamond was reportedly found.
It all started in the days of our fathers. Diamonds were found during that period, like 80 carat, 90 carat, but we make no profit from them. It's like those diamonds were not taken the right way or taken to the government. That's why we gain nothing from it as a village. But for this present one, when we found this diamond, we told our supporters that we need to go straight to the government so that we'll be able to gain something profitable from it. First of all, we don't have school.
And most times when the rain comes, it splashes on the children in the class. We run away. So how can you run a village school wherein there is nothing to eat?
And 2, no hospital. 3, we have poor road network. And 4, no chance for our children to be educated. He said by the grace of God, He will help us. So we are looking to the help of God.
The past diamonds, whether it was taken to the government or not, we don't know. And nothing was done for this village. We are left with nothing but just the name.
After hearing from the villagers about life in Koyadu, we went to visit the site where the 709-carat diamond was found, located in the forest a few kilometers from the village.
This is the place where the diamond was found by Pastor Momo.
We start 5 o'clock. We move from the bed. We come to the working place. We mine with shovels. We don't have machine that can help us. We do physical challenges.
I was seated over there on top of that stick. On top of that stick, they pulled the gravel. Chief was also pulling the gravel. They saw the diamond. The children rushed and took the diamond and gave it to Chief. Chief gave it to me and I put it in my pocket. And we gave it to our pastor.
I have never seen such type of diamond before. We were doing this job without any food. We only eat paints.
Visiting Koyadu village and learning how difficult life is in Sierra Leone made me realize just how much this diamond can help these people.
And when we came to the Director General's office one morning, and he told us Rapaport has expressed interest, we were all excited because we know what Rapaport stands for. We know the role that Rapaport played in Sierra Leone after the Civil War to transform the image of our diamonds from blood diamonds to peace diamonds.
No good road, no water supply, no electricity. What to eat is absent. The diamond can bring us light here. So if whosoever buy the diamond, let him come with light in exchange. Barter system, we are no more slaves. Africa, we are no more slaves. Yes.
I am Pastor Emmanuel Momo. I'm a diamond digger from Sierra Leone, Consolidation. Please buy our natural diamond.
We can end the video there, hopefully. Okay, so I'm going to invite the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources of the government of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mori Mana, to address us now. Dr. Mana, please.
Good morning, all. If I sound tired, it is because I am tired. It took the best part of 30 hours to get here from Sierra Leone starting Friday. And one of the things that I kept thinking about while I was waiting at various airports to be here was, why don't we have a direct flight from Freetown to America, to the USA? We used to have that in the past. That's not the case anymore. So much has happened to us. And I keep saying to myself, this has to change. A lot has to change. You just saw the video, and Koyadu is not the only Koyadu in Kono district, which is a very diamond-ferrous area. My contact with diamonds goes back to the days when I was born, because I was born in the Kono district. And my father was a miner, a licensed one, and I have benefited from diamonds personally. But that has not been the case for most of my people in Kono, for most Sierra Leoneans. Before I drifted into politics, I say drifted because I was a university don for some 30, 35 years. I was always thinking, this is not right. Something has to be done. I have classmates, I have schoolmates who went to school with me. And one of the advantages, if you want to call it that, of the war was that it was an eye-opener to the values that you associate with good education, with skills acquired. One of the places that suffered the greatest damage during our 10-year civil war was the Kono district. And when we moved, or when we were uprooted and posted to various parts of Sierra Leone, and indeed to various parts of West Africa, I lived in the west end of Freetown, close to the National Stadium, which was home for most of the refugees, the internally displaced from Kono district. And I had to care for so many of my friends who were schoolmates, who at some point believed that I had made the wrong choice when I said I was going to university. Because before then, I worked in the MDMC, which was SLST as a security, and I realized that no, this is a dead-end thing. You don't have skills, you are very difficult to market. So I left, I went to university, I became a university teacher, and here I am today, Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. I am only 2 weeks old in the job. We won our elections in April, and my party, the Sierra Leone People's Party, took over from the outgoing government, the All People's Congress Party. One of the reasons why I was made Minister of Mines, what President Bio said to me was, you know how much your people have suffered. We want you as Minister of Mines to make sure that your people benefit from the diamonds that come from your district. Minister of Mines means, of course, that you're Minister of Mines and the mining industry. We have so many other minerals, iron ore, bauxite, coltan, but I'll focus here on diamonds because that's what this is about. My first contact with Rapaport actually was in 2000, I think. There was a peace diamond workshop held in Kono district, and I worked with a certain Mark Renzi who worked for MSI and USAID at the time, and this was to tell the world that our diamonds mean a lot, not just to us, but to the world. But I'll focus on what they mean to us as Kono people, as Sierra Leoneans, Because for all of the diamonds that have come out of my country, it's hard to see how much we have benefited. You saw Kwayadu village. No water, no electricity. The school is nothing to write home about. Why should this be happening to us? And we are saying to the world, I am saying to the world, this government, headed by President Madabiu, is saying to the world, give us a chance, please. We are saying, help us stand on our own 2 feet. We are tired of handouts from donor countries, benevolent sympathizers. Botswana is what it is today. They have managed their diamonds better than we have. And we are saying, this government is saying, the people of Sierra Leone have said, which is why they voted us in, we want a better life for ourselves. We want a brighter future for our children. We want schools. We want hospitals. We want good roads. And if we get all of this money that we hear comes from diamonds, from our minerals, then I think it is only but fair that we get some return that we can be proud of, that we make our lives, a better place, Sierra Leone, a better place to live. Like I say, I grew up in a diamond mining district of Kono. I know what it means to be poor in the midst of riches. I know what it means to be deprived when there is no reason for that at all. I know what it means to be among the few that can help others. Policies, yes, but these are only declarations of intention as far as I am concerned. What matters is translating those policies into action. And that means you have to have a good heart. It means you have to have a good head. It means you have to have values, human values. It means you have to respect humanity. It means that if the others don't have, but you have, you learn to share. That is what we are asking for. That is what we are trying to promote. Now, we in Kono and in Sierra Leone have heard about large diamonds. 4 of the largest 20 diamonds that have been discovered, have come from Sierra Leone. The first of them was 900 and something carats. I was still in primary school, I think. What do we have to show for it? The most recent, however, the 709 from Kwayadu, is setting a pattern, i.e., we want to make sure as a government that the communities where these diamonds come from benefit directly from the sales of the diamonds. And so, Kwayadu is going to get a whole lot of attention from this new government that we have. We are going to look at the roads. We are going to look at the schools and the school system. We are going to look at the water and water system in Kwayadu, and invariably anyway, in all of the other places that the diamonds come from. We want to put a human face on diamonds. We want to move away from the so-called blood diamonds that were the direct result of the war in my country. I am inviting you, come to Sierra Leone. Come and see for yourselves. Don't listen to hearsay. We have a lot to offer, and we are ready to partner with you to help us grow, to help us develop our country, to help us provide a higher quality of life for our people and for our citizens. And I am saying this Not because this is what I want to say, but this is because this is something I believe in. Like I say, I drifted into politics mainly because I was not sure that my people were getting just rewards for what nature had endowed us with. And so here I am, Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. The diamonds that come from us will enable our people to live a better life. I will tell you that in the runoff in our elections, one of the parties that eventually helped us win the elections was a purely Connaught district-based political party. And when we sat with them and talked with them, they demanded, amongst other things, a university for Connaught district. They demanded that the percentage that currently goes to communities from where these diamonds come from should go up. They demanded that we should have good roads. They demanded that we should help the agriculture sector, the health sector. What a lot of people don't know is that out of the 14 chiefdoms we have in Connaught district, only 6 of them produce diamonds. The rest are into agriculture. But what happens is that the people in agriculture flock into the diamond-producing areas because they want quick money, they want an improved quality of life, they want their children to be educated, they want their children to go to schools. Now, you don't have to come to Harvard, you don't have to go to Oxford. We are saying, give us good universities in Sierra Leone. Give us a really first-class university in Connaught district. Help us educate our children. The primary focus of this government, this new government in Sierra Leone, is education for development. And one way we want to do that is by providing free education for all of our children from pre-nursery to end of high school. And starting in September, that is what we are going to do. It's not just a policy statement. This is something we are working towards, and this is something we are going to do. I say to you, all of you who are listening here, the potential for diamonds and the diamond industry in Connaught is huge. In the 2 weeks that I've been in office, I've visited Connaught Amikwedu Limited. This is a subsidiary of the Rapaport Group. I've visited Searite. I have visited Maya Mining. This is where the Prosperity Diamond came from very recently. And the potential is huge. Geological data suggests that the diamond industry will grow in Connaught and in Sierra Leone generally, because there are diamonds elsewhere in Sierra Leone. Very soon, starting in November, we are going to do a geophysical survey of the entire country so that we know what minerals we have, we know where they are located, and possibly quantities. And already the suggestion is that we do have sufficient enough minerals, diamonds particularly, to last for quite a while. So we invite you, partner with us, work with us, and let us give a human face to the diamond industry. Let us talk peace when we talk diamonds and not blood. Let us talk development when we talk diamonds and not underdevelopment. Let us all, as human beings first, and as businessmen and women next, let us all work towards giving Sierra Leone a chance to stand on its own. I thank you.
We're going to have you at the next meeting. There will be a, first, thank you very much, Minister. There's going to be a social responsibility town hall meeting right after this. I forgot what room it's in, but it's right on this floor here, and the minister will be speaking there with us. in a more informal environment, and I would encourage people to come because this is a fantastic opportunity to start a new narrative, a new story about Sierra Leone, about artisanal diggers, and about the diamonds. And I want people to understand what we're trying to accomplish here, which is a virtuous cycle. If tax money is paid for diamonds instead of them being smuggled, that money can be used to bring in clean water, bring in electricity. If that happens, then the people in the village, the next time they find a diamond, aren't going to want to give it to smugglers. They're going to say, let's give it to the government. Let's get more water. Let's get more electricity. Let's get a better life. And that becomes a virtuous cycle of taxation and diamonds working together to create a better life for everyone. The big question is, why is there no water? Why have all these things not happened in this area which has produced so much wealth in diamonds? And the answer is because no taxes never paid. So what we're trying to do is to create a virtuous cycle here where the diamonds, in fact, will benefit the government and benefit the people. And we trust the government. And I think it's very racist. When I talk to these people from England, it's Africa, you can't trust anybody. There's a lot of places in Africa you can't trust people. But there's a lot of places that you can. And I think we have to have respect for governments that are legitimate. And we need not to throw everybody into some, general ballywick. But I'm very happy that the minister's with us today. He will be available. If people would like to speak to him, we'll make sure that that's possible. And I'm also going to announce, we don't know the date yet, but the Rapaport Group is going to kind of help make a trip to Sierra Leone for people. Everybody from the people who want an adventure trip to camp out with us in the diamond areas to business people who want to work on larger projects. But we will work on helping. I think we're going to have a United States conference we're working. I know my son Israel is working on that as well. And if anyone wants to travel to Sierra Leone, we invite you, and the Rapaport Group will work to make it happen as well with the minister and the government. So please don't think you can't go to Sierra Leone. You should go. I think if you're a jeweler and you really want to you want to understand what's going on in this business, come with Rapaport. Come with us to Sierra Leone. So now let's get into the regular discussion a little bit more about what we usually do. Just a little picture of the diamond trade, 16.3 billion mined, 21.5 billion, so there's about a 32% added value in the manufacturing. Some people will disagree about this, by the way. Polished in jewelry, the data says there's a 25.1 billion, and the business is about 80.1. Now, I know that De Beers has announced it's greater this year, et cetera, but you're talking about $80 billion that gets split up and divided with different added value components. After the mines, there's 63.8 billion. Think about that. There's so much more money in the distribution of diamonds than in the mining, which sort of makes sense because so much has to go to retail a diamond piece of jewelry. But this amount that goes to the different sectors, the cutting centers and the retailers, and this is all up for grabs. This is all changing, as I explained earlier, because the rough people, that's a funny name, the rough people, yeah, some of them are rough, they're actually gobbling up and going down into the retail sector. They're actually after the profitability and the added value that we have traditionally seen in the distribution system, and I'll get into that in a minute. So just to get an idea, rough production, Russia, Botswana, Canada, South Africa, Angola, 5 countries, 83% of the world's diamonds. Look at this by company. 7 companies, 93% of the world's diamonds. This is the official Kimberley process kind of a data. So you need to be careful about that. But it doesn't include all the artisanal diamonds, supposedly. But think about the concentration in the rough sector. 7 companies controlling us, handling our business. We have to beg 7 companies to give us our raw material to have an industry. Very concentrated. You can actually see what it looks like in this graph. So, what's happened when you have this kind of a market concentration? Well, the red line is the amount of dollars that the mining companies get based on the Kimberley process data. And you see it went up over there in 2009, and it just went up. It dropped a little bit in 2011. And the blue line is the carats. What does this mean when I'm getting more money for the same amount or less carats? That means that the price is going up, my friends. Significantly, seriously, consistently. So rough has been increasing in price over time, I would almost say mercilessly, in a market where we have found it more and more difficult to raise polished prices. And let's look at what that looks like. The grayish blue line is rough diamond prices. The red line is polished diamond prices. Hey, what's going on here? How can this be? How can rough prices keep going up and polished prices go down? Where's the relationship? There's something fundamentally wrong with this industry. Maybe it's market power, maybe it's coincidental, but this is the numbers that we're getting from the Kimberley process, which I'll talk about. Kimberley, I don't trust it, this and that, but these facts are pretty clear to everybody. And we can't get a straight answer from anyone. Well, get some kind of an answer from me today, but why is this happening? It's not healthy. This is not sharing. We're not just talking about Sierra Leone not getting their fair share. We're talking about the entire industry, the polished diamond industry, maybe not getting their fair share of profits. And the profits are there for the mining companies. Here's De Beers and Alrosa. They're making nice 10%, 23% margins. It's not like they're not making money. So where are we going with this? Are profits fairly distributed across the diamond distribution system? Is there a level playing field? Level playing field's very tricky. Let's say you go out and you bribe a minister in Zimbabwe. You might get your rough diamonds 30, 40% cheaper. You cut them. You sell the polished. Now, if you're an American company, subject to Patriot Act, OFAC regulations, OECD regulations, you're not bribing anybody. How do you compete against the guy who bribes? How do you have a legitimate market here? Where's the level playing field? Everyone is hurt by this kind of activity because if you don't bribe, you're not competitive and you're pushed to start to do illegal things. You squeeze enough and it's not healthy, it's not good. But this is what's going on. We don't have a level playing field, my friend. Is De Beers manipulating the distribution of diamonds so as to increase their profitability at the expense of the diamond manufacturing, trading, and retailing sectors? Now, I don't know. A lot of people may have opinions about that. I'll present what I'm going to present here today. But this is not a good industry. This is not the way things should be in the diamond industry, in my view. Is the leadership of the diamond industry honest? I don't mean that they'll pickpocket you or maybe even lie about the quality of a diamond. But are they misrepresenting what's really going on? So we have in front of us two primary issues. One issue is attempts by larger companies to push out smaller and medium-sized companies through the distribution system so they can reduce competition and increase profits. That's what's going on today in my view. The little guys. I don't know if you're toast yet. If you leave it up to the big guys, you will be toast. Attempts by the leadership of the diamond industry to greenwash diamonds. So that's one issue. Do we get rid of everyone in this room? Should the De Beers diamond go from the mine to the consumer? I don't know. I'm waiting for this. What's this new thing with synthetics? What's it called? Lightbox. Right? What happens when Lightbox starts selling on Amazon? Yeah, that'll be really fun. Or maybe Forevermark. I don't know. But the bottom line is that the big guys are coming down on us and the little guys are becoming toast. That is what I am seeing. Now, that's one issue. The other issue is this greenwashing. In other words, diamonds that come from illegitimate sources, which involve things that cause the playing field not to be level, those diamonds, they're telling you it's okay. It's fine. We have a Kimberley process. We have RJC. We have World Diamond Council. Everything's fine. I'm sorry. They're a bunch of liars. It's not fine. The situation is bad. Not acceptable. And it's really upsetting to me because it just continuously goes on. And no matter how much I scream and yell, it doesn't really help. So I'll explain why I think that we have a problem with the leadership of this industry not addressing the issues that they need to address. We'll go into it with some level of detail in a few moments, but first of all, let's take a look at a video. Human Rights Watch on May 10th, 2017, I think it was 2018 actually. Diamond trade still fuels human suffering. Why? Why? Why should that be the case? Hopefully this video, whoops, let's go back one. I'll click on it. Video.
Nilipokuwa nataka kutoka ndo likanibomokea geni. Nikapoteza fahamu, nilipopoteza fahamu wakaja kuja kunitoa, waliponitoa wakanipeleka chuni. Kama unakamatisha na yenyewe inarukaruka. Na pale unapochoma dhahabu na ule meki unapochoma upepo ule ikuingia tu mdomoni makosa, unasijui unaugua kifua.
All right, so that could be Human Rights Watch. Maybe they're biased. Either this video is recent. It's the last couple of months. So maybe they don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they just make money because they're an NGO and they like to just point out miserable things because this is how they retain their thing. But so now it's Martin Rapaport talking here. I'm making a living. Nothing to do with having to point out the evil stuff. As a matter of fact, when I point it out, I get kicked out of places like the Bharat Diamond Bourse. Look at this graph. Look at it, see if it's there. I'm not against the UAE, particularly I'm not against anybody. My friends, what the hell is going on? Every year, diamonds go into the UAE. I think this is 2015. I don't know why we don't have the 2016 data, but it's the same data. For some reason, we pulled the wrong graph in. But look, 5 billion comes in, 7.3 billion goes out. What the hell's going on in the UAE that those rough diamonds become worth more money? There's no mines there. There's no real. How does the rough come in and go up by 40%? How does that happen? How does that work? So I brought this up when I gave a speech in India, which was, I could say, not well received. And the head of the Bharat Diamond Bourse, who later actually threw me out of there, Anup Mehta jumps up and he says, no. I said, maybe you guys, you're exporting diamonds to India, which cuts 90% of the world's diamonds, so you're exporting at higher prices so you can keep your profits in Dubai. And I don't care about transfer pricing, frankly. It's the government's problem. It's not my problem. I'm interested in who funds Al-Qaeda. I want to know where the money goes. So no. All the diamonds imported into India are imported at true, fair market prices. I said, okay, I'll believe you. Could someone explain why the diamonds are being imported into UAE at 40% below market prices? What's happening here? The whole world's involved in money laundering. Everybody's busting their chops, filling out forms, checking off endless numbers of boxes. Where is the $2 billion going? What kind of industry, and this is the official Kimberley process numbers, where is the $2 billion going? World Diamond Council, where is the money going? World Federation of Diamond Bourses, where is the money going? RJC, where's the money going? Why the hell can't we know where the money's going? $2 billion a year. Slowly but surely we'll see. I can't get an honest answer. Are ministers being bribed? Where did, what's her name, Isabel dos Santos, how did she become the richest woman in Africa? I am telling you, our diamond industry should be ashamed of itself. And I hate these organizations that consistently pat themselves in the back of how good they are. Where's the $2 billion? And if you can't answer that question, don't sit here and make yourselves fancy, great organizations. You suck. Unacceptable. All right, part of the story. India is a great country, and I love India, and I have a lot of people there. I'm not against Indians in any way, shape, or form. And, you know, it's a big country, and the diamond industry people are great there, but they cut 90% of the world's diamonds, and they have no anti-money laundering laws that relate to them. Zero exemption. I'm not blaming anyone here. I blame the industry about Dubai, about UAE, yeah. But in this case, I'm not blaming. I'm saying we have to work together with our Indian companies to make sure that they do implement AML stuff. There's no excuse. 90% of the world's diamonds are coming through without any AML or CTF. We Americans are going down there and buying diamonds. Yeah. Are those diamonds coming from Zimbabwe? They're coming from the Congo? They're coming from Angola? Where are they coming from? No idea. I'm telling you, no idea. All they do is Kimberly process the goods, and the Kimberly process doesn't look at human rights abuses, doesn't look at anti-money laundering, doesn't look at counter-terrorist funding. We're not doing anything. Okay, Rapaport's advocating. How many years have I been doing this at the show? 20 years? But I'm saying to you, we're getting to the point now where there is so much more controls, so much more knowledge. We are probably a big, big hole in how we are dealing with our product. I don't even know. I worry. I said to my son Israel, why am I creating Rafnet? Why am I creating better ways to trade diamonds? Is that to sell more of these blood diamonds from unknown sources? We must know where our diamonds come from, everybody. We must know. We must. So I'm encouraging us not to fight against our Indian friends. No. They're our family. They're our brothers. They're our sisters. We are one with India. Don't get me wrong here. But we must work together to encourage the government of India, in fact, to implement AML and CTF obligations and monitoring and compliance on the entire Indian industry. India is a huge hole in terms of what's happening here. And here's another funny fact. Okay, so we got $2 billion cooking up in Dubai all the time. Now we got another interesting story. According to De Beers announcements, official data, there's an extra $3.13 billion of diamonds floating around beyond the Kimberley process. And all these guys, oh, don't worry, everything's fine with diamonds. They're a bunch of liars. Additional, now maybe De Beers' numbers are wrong. Maybe instead of $3 billion, it's only $2 billion. You know what it takes to blow up a World Trade Center? I'm serious. Where is this money going? We're buying the goods. We're putting them in our jewelry stores. It's us. We're giving the money for these things. Where's the money going? It's not just that you have to know where your diamonds come from. You have to know where your money is going. I don't know that we're not feeding terrorist organizations. I think we are. And now our industry needs to get off our butt and really relate to these things by having relationships, by going in deeper with our suppliers, by knowing what's going on. So you're talking about 26% more than the KP. Oh, 2% of the diamonds are non-conflict, and then we lie and we cheat, and we say, well, conflict diamonds are only diamonds that are like this and like that, and, you know, no money laundering obligations under the Kimberley process. The Kimberley process is a greenwashing machine. Biggest greenwashing machine I've ever seen. Now, that's not enough. Now, I'm really hot today. I'm really pissed off. I'm really unhappy. Let's see a letter from De Beers to their site holders. In relation to programs such as GIA's Mine to Market or other downstream initiatives seeking to make provenance claims, seeking to let us know where our diamonds come from, we have declined all such requests. De Beers has declined all such requests. But that's not all. The site holder signature license clause, I'm quoting from the letter here, 3.6.6 states, you, the site holder, you, the accredited buyer from De Beers, you will not represent that any particular diamond or diamonds are sourced or originate from us or any member of the De Beers Group except with our prior written consent, which they've said we've declined all such requests. My friends, I'm getting old, I'm getting tired. I really am. Yelling and screaming from up here doesn't necessarily change the world. But enough is enough. There's a red line here. You want to try to take over the industry? Fine. You want to go into synthetics? Fine. Free markets. But when you deny us the ability to identify where our diamonds come from, and I'm talking about 43% of the legitimate diamonds in the world, you're saying nobody can know where they come from but us, De Beers. We are denying the opportunity for the diamond industry to know where their diamonds come from. I say enough is enough. No, 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 I won't stand for it. And no one here should stand for it. So yeah, De Beers sales in 2016, 5.3 billion. KP was 12.27 billion. And I'm talking about legitimate diamonds here. 43%. How are we supposed to know where our diamonds come from? So look, let's face the reality. De Beers is proactively destroying transparency and making source certification impossible. And yet they parade around here like good guys. They're not good guys. This is the mother of evil. To say that when you buy a diamond from De Beers, you can't tell anybody where it came from, so now 43% of the diamonds are opaque? No, 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 no. De Beers is using their dominant rough diamond market power to control the distribution of legitimate polished diamonds by denying independent third-party source certification of polished diamonds. They're saying no. You want to know if a diamond's kosher? Come to me. No one else can tell you if 43% of the world's diamonds are okay. Wow, unbelievable. It's not chutzpah, it's beyond chutzpah. And we don't know this. We make believe we don't know. And the leadership of the Diamond Street, where the hell are you? Shame, shame, shame. Now, it should be clear that source certification is the key to our future so that we can run a legitimate diamond industry. We can live in a legitimate diamond industry. We can sell diamonds with an amount of confidence about what's going on. But I still say go to Africa, go to Surat, go out there. Every one of you jewelers, get out there so that, take a vacation if you have to in India. Go to Surat, go to Sierra Leone. Go and touch and feel and build relationships with people who are on the supply side. Go far and deep into the rest of the world. Stop sitting here like ducks to be shot. Because tell you something, guys. If you just sit here and rely on De Beers, you're going to be out of business. Number of jewelers are going to keep declining because they will take over the distribution. But I'll deal with those issues. But I want to talk about source certification. Who needs it? Everybody needs to know where diamonds come from. Government regulations. OFAC, FinCEN, Patriot Act, OECD, corporate responsibility. If you're on the board of, say, that Signet, and you're in some kind of a blockchain agreement with De Beers, and De Beers is doing the kind of stuff they shouldn't do, expect an antitrust investigation. Expect it, because I will make sure it happens. So corporate responsibility, brand threat. You're selling diamonds that come from I don't know where. Socially conscious consumers. Ethical competition. My diamonds are better than your diamonds because I know where they came from. Synthetics and treatments. We don't know what's in our, we don't know where our diamonds come from. We don't even know if they're diamonds. Bank regulations, law enforcement. All of this dances around the same circle of source certification. So why am I so bent out of shape today? I'm bent out of shape because my source certification capabilities in RapNet cut off by De Beers. They want to use that to control the distribution of legitimate diamonds. No, no, no. But source certification is the way that we have to go. But I'm telling you, everybody's got to participate in this. We have to investigate our suppliers. Not just the guy in India. Go to Africa. Go to Surat. Go to the sources. Let's get into this business, not just to sell, but the buy side. If we buy better, that's how we make money, everybody. Think about what we can do as jewelers, even small. We will try at Rapaport to make trips, to do whatever we can to encourage better relationships. better relationships between the supply side and the demand side of the equation. So source certification and transparency, Rapaport's working on it. What we're going to work on is something very simple at the beginning. The mine invoice, assuming the mine is RJC certified, and I don't even mind if De Beers says it comes from one of 6 mines or 7 mines, as long as all of the components are kosher, the end thing is kosher. So if you got 7 mines or De Beers, it's okay, as long as all the mines are RJC, but I got to see an invoice. I got to see an invoice from a mining company that's legitimate that says there's a 10 carat, a 5 carat, a 3 carat, a 2 carat, and then every one of those stones gets tracked through the factory. Because the factories have software that monitors diamonds so that the people shouldn't steal them. Very sophisticated software. Syringe machines doing graphs of what the diamond is. Workstations. And we'll have Rapaport people go into a factory and say, workstation 14, we looked at your software. There's supposed to be a half carat working here. Show me the stone. We're modeling it after kosher certification. And then, of course, get to the GI grading report. Or it could be an IGI, or it could be another grading report. It could be an IIDGI. We're not against De Beers. Anything good that they do. Now, when you get that grading report, you know you can match the diamond to the grading report. So if you can go from the rough invoice to the grading report, Rapaport can say, we will give you a source certificate for this GIA number 1234. Now the diamond can trade hands a million times. Who cares? So this idea of being able to create, and we're going to do this in RapNet. We're going to give little green stars. And for the green, I got to ask Savo. This diamond, we know where it came from. We got all the data on it. This is a very important part of our future as a diamond industry, being able to authenticate where our diamonds are coming from and even authenticate that they are diamonds. So I had our 2 primary issues that I told you before, and let's try to understand them. One is this attempt to control the distribution system, and so we could raise prices for rough. Another is the ethical and moral responsibility that we have to know where our diamonds come from. This guy, Dana Shore is an interesting guy. He was very Trumpian, Rapaportian, big pain in the ass for everybody. Very sad, he actually died at the age of 63. He was born same year I was born. I'm 66. He died at 63, 3 years ago. Now, he went to these meetings, and he started to say things like, artisanal diggers are going to get screwed because of all of this compliance stuff that we're doing. It's all about the marketing. He was against RJC for that reason. I was for RJC, and I'm still for RJC. I still think people should become RJC members. Please, do that. Because it puts us on the slippery slope of legitimacy. It puts us in the right direction. I think what the RJC is doing is good, but it is totally half-assed. It's not even half-assed, if you ask me. It's not even 10th-assed. It's just blah. It's a marketing game, like you guys said. He said he believed that industry leaders would use the concept of responsible sourcing to apply compliance standards that will eliminate small and medium-sized dealers. That's what he said. He believed RJC would be used as a marketing tool to greenwash diamonds and gems without doing anything to help artisanal miners. I sort of agree with that. And I'll say one thing very simple. Where the hell's the $2 billion out of Dubai? You can't answer that question. You should be walking very low. You should be moving you should be very ashamed of yourself. I thought him wrong, but he was right. He died. It's a shame that he died because, he was a real rambunctious troublemaker. At least I felt there was someone that was more bothersome than me. But I do want to remember him today. And I remember his ideals and his values. I had told him once that we had a conference we were going to do, and I didn't invite him because I felt that he would be disruptive. And I promised to write an article about him, which I didn't do, a big interview, and so I want to mention him now. And I think that the things that he pointed out, which was the relationship between trying to create an ethical standard for diamonds and trying to destroy the middle market, would work together. And when you think about what's going on with this De Beers refusal to allow people to know where their diamonds come from, I think Dana hit it right on the head. Right on the head. And it's just amazing. Okay, so we're going to stop everybody from knowing where the diamonds come from. Totally amazing. So the De Beers problem, De Beers trying to control the distribution of their diamonds from mine to consumer. Over time, they will be cutting us out of the diamond business. No one here should be under the illusion that there's a lot of room for small to medium-sized dealers in I'll call it the De Beers, Bain plan. maybe it's the pain plan, okay? Which basically says that we should be highly efficient, and who needs all these people making free markets for their polished diamonds? Should the diamond industry trust De Beers' leadership? We've been in that way, and we'll talk a little bit about synthetics and lightbacks, but should we trust their leadership? Are they leaders of the diamond industry? Why is De Beers denying source information while branding their own socially responsible diamonds? It's exactly what Shore was talking about. So they're going to make their so-called blockchain or BS chain. They're going to do this stuff their way. It supposedly will be open. I don't believe them as far as I can throw them. But meantime, nobody else can say that 43% of the diamonds where they came from. Why is that? That's a tool. It's a device. It's a way to force, to coerce, to monopolize. And what about De Beers synthetics and lightbox that everybody is talking about today? Look, I think we need to understand something about De Beers. De Beers is a corporation. The diamond industry for generations has been a family business, and we treat each other as family, and we love each other as family, and we fight as family. Corporations do not have a heart. They do not have a soul. They are making money, and they don't care about anything else. Face it. How many people here own Anglo-American shares? Not many. Not anybody. Well, you're suckers. Because the bottom line here is that that is what De Beers believes in and stands for and goes for. Mickey Mouse has a wonderful costume, but my friends, there is no Mickey Mouse. Santa Claus doesn't exist. De Beers is not your family. It's not your friend. It's not your daddy. It's not your mommy. De Beers is simply a cold, cruel corporation in the business of optimizing how much money they can make. They'll throw out a few little, well, we love you and we like you, we'll give you some charity here and there, but that's not their purpose. I would say to De Beers is no longer diamantaires. They are not members of our community. They are people who prey upon us. Synthetics, now, they're geniuses. The smart part of what they're doing with lightbox and synthetics, I mean, it's amazing. And we have to respect them. We have to respect people, even if we emotionally don't agree with them. Here, I have this whole thing about Trump in this magazine here, right? Doesn't mean you have to like Trump. You got to understand what Trump is doing. And when Trump does something that's brilliant, he's doing something brilliant. De Beers does brilliant things. By bringing down the price of the synthetics, they're knocking out all those people who are parasites on the natural diamond business. They're parasites. They're literally bloodsuckers who come in there and say, well, how much is a natural diamond? I'll give you a 30%, 50%, I'll give you some kind of discount to that. But they're not natural diamonds because you can turn them out of a machine. They're not scarce. What would the value of $1 be if I could go to my copy machine and just print out any unlimited amount of dollars? Saying that synthetic diamonds are a substitute for natural diamonds is a lie. And now De Beers is doing a good job because they're saying, yeah, we understand that. So by pricing it at $800 a carat, they're going to knock out all those people who are riding us, which is fine. I respect De Beers for that. I thank De Beers. I think that's a great idea. On the other hand, it's interesting to see what they're doing. I think Sally Morrison said it the best. I didn't write it in my thing over here. And I think probably she didn't mean to, but she said it and they repeated it. So maybe I should actually, quote her on this issue, if I can find it in my little computer here. Natural diamonds are for once-in-a-lifetime occasions. Again, natural diamonds are for once-in-a-lifetime occasions. So what are we doing with our natural diamonds, jewelry and stuff? Now, I don't blame De Beers for identifying the opportunity that good, sexy, fun synthetic diamonds can bring to women and get them to buy diamonds. And Nicky Oppenheimer once said to me that when people buy inexpensive diamonds, they later buy more expensive diamonds. And maybe if people buy synthetics and the little trinkets, they'll want and they'll desire more. So it's too early to call them out on trying to see a business opportunity and to take that business opportunity called fashion jewelry using synthetic diamonds. So they're doing their business. They can make money. Why shouldn't they make money? Would you rather someone else did it? So I don't blame De Beers for having a dominant market position in synthetics and being able to put them out cheap and seeing a business opportunity. But all of us in the industry have to start thinking about, what about real diamond fashion jewelry? What's going to happen to that? What about natural melee? What's going to happen to that? Are we also going to build, maybe De Beers will also do advertising for real diamond fashion jewelry. So I'm not here to complain against someone about what they're not doing wrong, if they're doing some things that are interesting and maybe potential. But I think that as one very high-level person in the diamond industry said to me, I've lost my faith in De Beers. I said, hey. I say, hey, stupid. But, hey, stupid, since when did you think have faith in De Beers? Have faith in God. Have faith in your family and your wife, your children. Faith in De Beers. They're not a religion, everybody. So, now we've sort of woken up to the reality that we are in, which is, here's a company that's going to do what it takes to maximize their profits. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not for holding small people and keeping them alive in the diamond industry on life support if, in fact, they can't afford to really, and they're not adding value and stuff. We live in a competitive environment. We're getting crashed by Amazon and everything else on the internet. So I'm not here to try to preserve things that should not be preserved because of competitive forces in the market, changing norms and behavior or fashion and design. That's okay. I have no complaint with De Beers about that. But I do think we need to understand that De Beers does not lead the diamond industry. De Beers leads De Beers. Their interests are often at conflict with ours, and we need to start protecting ourselves, and we need to start working hard to figure out how to promote diamonds and how to make sure that we maintain our position. So, the synthetic thing, brilliant move from an economics perspective, questionable in terms of the impact it'll have on us who are selling fashion jewelry. And I really think we need to start talking to some people in the fashion jewelry business about, hey, what is the role of diamonds going to be like here? Will diamond fashion jewelry be good? Maybe De Beers will spend an equal amount of money on the natural diamond side, on the melee side. Or maybe the Russians, maybe other people will come in. But I am saying to you, this is a very interesting point in time. We're now at a certain milestone where we're starting to think about, who's our daddy? Do we have a daddy? And I'm telling you, my friends, De Beers does a lot of good things, but they're not your daddy. All right, so U.S. retailers and dealers must do whatever we can to ensure a reasonable supply of diamonds from ethical, transparent, and competitive markets. Because the only way you can get a diamond is if someone feeds you the price. Well, you're not going to have much opportunity to have a bid-ask market, a middle market. It's going to start to become very dominating. You'll become the slave of De Beers. I don't know if the Indians or the American retailers are the new blacks of De Beers. I don't know. But all I can tell you is, if you've got De Beers on one side with rough pricing, and there's other suppliers, they have only 43% of the market, only 43%. And now you got, I don't know, Signet or Walmart or someone on the other side of the equation. And you're standing between these two hard rocks. Profits are going to be very limited. You'll work as long as it pays for you to service them, as long as the retailers are useful and selling the percentage of consumers that prefer to buy by going into a store. But it wouldn't blow me away if Forever Mark opened up their own stores right across from your retail shop. Wouldn't surprise me. And again, it's not necessarily evil, it's just the way of the world. Don't be naive. So we need to find ways to make our products special. I'm going to look for support for United States Department of Justice antitrust investigation of De Beers to force them to allow clients to disclose the source of their diamonds. I will not allow this to continue to the best of my ability. And I call upon people here who are also engaged, or as they would say, seized by this issue, to come and talk to me and talk to us. Look, the Rapaport Group's a business. We're not in the legal business. I don't want to have to do this. But I believe that the future of our industry requires transparency about where rough diamonds come from. And I will do my best to battle those with every legal device capable. And I think the Department of Justice should look at this issue. Because, in fact, if RapNet tomorrow wants to give little green stars to diamonds coming from legitimate sources, 43% of those diamonds are now taken away from our ability to differentiate good diamonds from, let's call it, unknown diamonds. Not acceptable. If De Beers uses their market power to disturb freely competitive diamond markets, as in, this is how we distribute it, you have to buy it this way, and their brands, competitive diamond markets, their brands, their brands, De Beers and their brands, should be excluded from the United States and other markets. So I don't believe De Beers has an inalienable right to operate in the United States of America if they are not providing, if they are working in an opaque, non-transparent manner regarding 43% of the world's diamonds. I think they should be kicked out. So it's tough. I mean, what can I tell you? I'm honestly, I don't know what to do about the $2 billion out of Dubai. I don't know what to do about the extra $3.1 billion. I don't know what to do about the fact that there's no AML or CTF in India. All these things weigh heavy on me, so I say I can't fight the evil. But let us at least create good. Let us, if we can't fight evil, let us say, okay, I can't stop diamond smuggling, I can't stop, I don't know, Dubai, but let me at least identify the good diamonds so that people have an incentive to go on the good path. And then maybe there'll be a higher price for diamonds with a green star. Maybe people are consumers and jewelers and are ethical in their business and they really want to do the right thing. To stop that, to stop the good part from happening. That's the mother of evil. That's really got me burnt up here. So we must recognize that dirty diamonds are part of our industry. And big organizations like De Beers will use that to push us, middle people, out of the business. It's a great device. Our diamonds are kosher. Everybody else, I don't know. So you better buy from us. And you better buy from our designated retailers. You better buy from our Forever Mark brand. You better buy from our De Beers stores. Because the other stuff, you don't know what it is, because we haven't allowed anyone to know about those diamonds. It's very subtle. A lot of people miss it. Small and medium-sized stores cannot rely on De Beers and other big organizations to ensure their survival and credibility. There's riches in the niches, guys. You're a retailer today. Think carefully about how you can use supply, how you can use buying, how you can use a trip to India. Come to India, please. Come to India. We're going to Surat. I'm going to Surat on the 10th of July. I'm going in August. We have office, 90 people there. Come to India. Come to Sierra Leone. Come and see and think and be engaged with the supply side of your business as much as you are on the selling side. How you buy, I'm telling you, my friends, that's where the money will be. And not just money, it's going to be survival. The U.S. buys 50% of the world's diamond jewelry. That's $41 billion. We are the biggest, the most important. You have no power over suppliers. They come in here. New York diamond industry has been ruined. It's been, I don't know how to describe it. Outrageous. Our diamond industry in New York is, we used to have 2,000. Okay, you can't stop the clock. You know, if cutting is cheaper in India, Indians should cut the diamonds. Not even a question. But as dealers, as middle marketers, as wholesalers, we've been decimated. So we're not fighting for our existence. And if we keep laying down like this, we're not going to be around for much longer. U.S. trade organizations are not using our purchasing power to ensure a level playing field for us in America. I'm wearing my American flag because there's many ways to see the diamond industry, and I see it from an American perspective. And why shouldn't I? 51% of the diamonds, after all, end up here. And I'm an American. So yeah, I'm an American. And I'm going to look from the American perspective. So what is going on with this? I mean, example, and again, I'm not against India. I want us to love Indians. I want us to support the Indian community. I want us to bring them closer. I want us to be one. But why is it that they charge us 32% for jewelry or 31%, and we charge 5.5%? Why is it they just doubled their import fee on diamonds? Okay, there's World Trade Organization garbage, but if you want to really understand tariff issues, you should read our article here about Trump trade policy. But these kinds of, if we had people that were representing the United States industry correctly, we would not be in such a position where we are treated like, not even like garbage. They would have respect for us because we're the buyers. But the buyers in this industry are nobodies. We're segmented out, we're chopped up, or we're not, our power as buyers, totally not there. And you can see that in the largest import to the United States is India with $4 billion, followed by Israel. But again, 90% of the diamonds are cut in India. So we have relations with India. We have relations with Israel. We should fan out as retailers, as Americans, and we should go to these countries, and we should visit these. Even if you don't buy diamonds, not to buy diamonds, come to Surat, don't buy diamonds. Just meet people. Come to Sierra Leone. Get a handle, get an understanding, get a feeling, get a relationship. Go beyond the product to the people behind the product. It's all about relationships. Relationships with our Indian suppliers. They're good people, these Indian guys, I'm telling you. And they're just under the pressure from the bears as much as we are. Trust me on this. They're squeezed too. So they're jumping into our market because they're squeezed there. So if the mining guys are squeezing, how are you going to make money? Rough is so expensive. You start going downstream. You start squeezing the wholesalers. You start opening up your offices here. You start pushing out the retailers. So our whole industry is now being pushed and squeezed and confronted by all this stuff. And then underneath it all lies this $2 billion from Dubai, $3.1 billion extra floating around. I mean, it's not a healthy situation, to put it mildly. So what's our solution? Oh boy, we got to hurry up here. Retailers go to rough, go to polished. Retail, wake up. Retail, think about your market power. It's time for diamond cutters, dealers, and retailers to practically source their diamonds, visiting places, transcend the product to the people behind it. Transcend the product to the people. Survival of the diamond industry means creating a mutually beneficial relationship with your suppliers. Really get to know your suppliers. I'll be traveling to Surat. I'll be traveling to July 10th, early August. A team will be going to Sierra Leone again. I really invite you all to do that. I'd like to talk about the blockchain briefly and bring up to the stage, as a matter of fact, some really good people. Before that, I'll show a brief video, and we're running a little bit, but hopefully we won't be late. So the blockchain can be a good tool for good people. It can be a bad tool for bad people. As it helps us maintain, share, and securitize information, the blockchain can be a new greenwashing opportunity similar to the Kimberley process, as in garbage in, garbage out. So in these blockchains, are we going to have Zimbabwean diamonds in there, even though they're on the OFAC list? Are we going to have diamonds that are bribed and all this other crap that we see? Is that going to be part of the blockchain because we love everybody, a big umbrella? So it's garbage. It's like the KP. Let us consider how the blockchain can be used to support an ethical, transparent, competitive, and efficient market. Those are the Rapaport values. Ethical, transparent, competitive, and efficient market for polished diamonds. So what we will do is we will play a brief video, and I will ask in the meantime for Leanne Kemp, Mark Hanna, so please come up to get mic'd up. Are they mic'd up yet? Hopefully they're mic'd up. Let's see if they're not mic'd up, get them mic'd up. And come up on the, start ready to come up on the stage. You have about 2 minutes to do so as I play this interesting, hopefully, video. Boom. Oh, you need a mic, trust me. It's a big room. Will we get this thing to work? Oh, okay. Video, guys?
To you a diamond engagement ring. You probably think about two people getting married and living their lives together and their beautiful love story. You also may be thinking about blood diamonds and child labor and mining working conditions that somebody had to go through to build that piece of jewelry. And I bet you probably don't think about blockchain. While there have been several advancements in this space, especially with the Kimberley process, there is still lack of trust and transparency, and especially from the consumers and the new generation of millennials who are asking for the provenance information when they buy their jewelry. They want to make sure it's been sourced ethically, it went through all the approvals and all the audits that they're expected to go through, and it's going to last them forever. Well, blockchain technology has capabilities that could help both sides, right? It could help tell you a beautiful story of a piece of jewelry coming together through all the stages of the process. It can also provide that provenance information to the consumers that shows that the gold and the diamond has been mined and manufactured ethically when it came together in that final piece of jewelry. I'm very excited to share with you this new collaboration that IBM is starting with other leading industry providers in the jewelry space. It's called Trust Chain. And the unique proposition of Trust Chain is that it's focused on the entire piece of jewelry. So it really is focused on you as consumers to bring trust, transparency to you, underpinned by blockchain. The entire solution spans through the entire supply chain, from mine to manufacturer to retailer and auditor, so that you can see the entire journey of the piece of jewelry that you're buying all the way through. Blockchain is uniquely positioned to provide a level of trust and transparency that jewelry consumers are asking for. And I really look forward to grow and develop this collaboration so that it becomes the industry standard going forward. I'm Catherine Malkova, Strategy Labs leader in GBS North America, IBM.
Okay, so we have an interesting story here about the blockchain. So I think everyone's excited about the blockchain because they think in and of it by itself, it can ensure legitimacy in the diamond industry. So in fact, we'll start with Leanne a little bit. So what is it true that the blockchain is this magical thing that's going to solve all the problems of all the blood diamonds? I mean,
well, can everyone hear me? Great. Well, when I was young, I believed in unicorns as well. So I guess that mythical creature is a parallel to what we're unfortunately pronouncing globally. But no, blockchain as a solution is really next generation internet technology. So just as we've seen the internet was born in the late 80s and early 90s, this technology enables the internet or a digital transformation effort to transfer value between two people. So whether that value is constructed as money or whether it's constructed as an item, it's next generation internet technology. So it's not necessarily a mythical creature, but it certainly sometimes has taken the form of it will solve everything. It won't.
Mark, you have successfully done an amazing thing going and incorporating both the gold and all the features of what goes on to actually make a piece of jewelry which is credibly identified as being legitimate. Is that correct?
That's our effort, yes, sir.
Is it actually happening?
We did one test. We moved gold from, I'll tell you where. We moved gold from Wharf Mine in South Dakota to Asahi Refining in Salt Lake City, to Leach Garner for fabrication and casting grain in Massachusetts. We moved that to Mumbai, where the ring was made. On the other side, the diamonds supplied by Rio Tinto for the proof of concept moved from Divik to Antwerp for cutting to the same factory in Mumbai. There, we put it all together. We had a finished engagement ring of 1 carat, 3 or 4 different styles. We moved that to our distribution center. We moved it to Helzberg Jewelers. Along the way, and you hit a couple great points earlier, along the way, we did have third-party verification. We had UL at every single step along that way, verify sealed envelopes in, sealed envelopes out, weights of gold, movement of diamonds, all the way through the distribution center and all the way through to Helzberg. So is that scalable? That's tough. But is that the right way? I think you made the point before. If we can figure out where things came from, and we can tell people where things came from, and we can verify that there's no garbage in, garbage out, I think we're on the right track. Are we there? No, it's a long ways to go.
So the idea is to have a chain of custody for all the materials. First of all, you'd have to know that the material is legitimate to begin with, okay?
Yep.
Now, if you had legitimate raw materials, be it gold, diamonds, or manufacturing also, a factory could have slave labor or something, God forbid. So if you have all of the different pieces legitimized as they sit, then what you can do is you can have a chain of custody that helps you combine all of those things into a finished product that would then be termed certifiably legitimate, or knowing that this ring came from all of these components. And the blockchain would play an important role in being able to authenticate that process.
Yeah, the blockchain is really the documentation to all that. And listen, it's not just a big new database. We did something similar from 2006 with Walmart and some other people called String. Basically, it was the same thing. Documentation, we'd input the paperwork through String, we'd have a complete chain of custody. This is different. And it's different because in the first example, all that input was us. Right? So I had to be a very trusted source on that because it was all our input. Now, every member of that chain I just mentioned has complete accessibility and transparency to everything that happened all the way from that chain, from the mines all the way through the retailer. So Helzberg has it on one end, the mine has it on the other, everything that happened in between. So for us to not put in correct data, or for us to want to change data, it's something to our advantage, all 8 members of that consortium would have to see it, agree to it, and feel it's the correct thing.
So you're talking about a democratized, team-based supply chain authentication system. Would that be a fair way to put it?
Yeah, I think any of you that read a lot about blockchain, you hear Bitcoin, you hear all kinds of Ethereum, all kinds of things, but we're a private permissioned network. We're not a totally open source to the entire consumer, they get to vote on it network. We're a private permissioned network for all the good reasons you can imagine. But we're also creating a transparent layer for the consumer. And that transparent layer is going to be something that will make, sort of lay bare that entire chain of custody. Where did I come from?
We're at the stage now where we're working on consumer interfaces, the user interfaces. We're in a research stage. We've developed them. We're getting consumer research on, is it enough? Is it too much? Do we explain it the right way? We also have 2 graduate programs, one at Wharton and one at Bryant University in Rhode Island, working on the same sort of X factor information to see whether we're doing the right thing.
So Leanne, what's with this private, public? I mean, if we talk about the blockchain, for example, it's hard for me to believe that anyone who supplies a diamond to someone wants that someone to see who his suppliers were. Because that's the trade secrecy. Do you think I want everyone to see who my supplier is? So how does this work? Private, public, secret, not, open, closed? I don't understand this. Could you explain it, please, Leanne?
So I've been a software engineer for the better part of 25 years, and whilst blockchain is a new word that's, of course, on the headlines of most printed articles, it's a combination of relatively old and mature sets of technology. So to understand what blockchain is, there is a layer of database technology. Instead of storing the data centrally, we store it in a distributed form. So members that are connected to the chain would have a table or a chain of data that would then be synchronized with the other members within the network. But it can't just stop there, because the reality is we then need to put a layer together of understanding the rules of participation or consensus, which is another layer of the blockchain. How will participants enable themselves to provide an opinion or an authentication layer of truth? Now, in a public chain, which is what some people have been working on, enables the ability in a public chain for anybody actually within this audience to participate on validating data within that chain. And they are validating that data by way of your computer mining certain types of algorithms to participate. So it's not necessarily based on understanding the truth of the contribution, it's just the effort to agree to the contribution. So all hands rise, therefore I am rewarded for participating across that democracy. In a private chain, it's a little bit different. So it's not necessarily rewarded on the computing power effort that you contribute, it's rewarded upon your ability to say, I am here to witness this as being truth, and I'm actually giving endorsement to that truth. And the third layer of the technology, which is quite important, is called cryptography. So that's not old. Cryptography, of course, was a very important part that ended up cracking parts of the code in World War II. So we see big companies like the Turing Institute enable that. Now, it's the combination of these 3 things together that give us the ability to provide a transaction trail of data to transfer things, objects, value between 2 people in a way that is somewhat trustful and in a way that enables the participants to agree, what does transparency mean to them? Transparency doesn't mean that it's naked to the entire world. It means I am enabling transparency upon agreement, upon a consensus of agreement. We've been working in the space since 2013, and I believe blockchain and blockchain alone is not the solution to transparency, and it's not the solution to the requirements of chain of custody. Blockchain won't solve for physical commodity supply chains. And just the enablement of being able to take invoices or digitising Kimberley certificates or putting photos on the chain really falls short of the true integrity of what we need to do. We need to be able to somehow marry material science, the ability with AI, machine vision, all of these sort of cognitive type, deep, investigative, forensic layer identity. You have to be able to connect that to the chain to give it integrity. And no chain can easily connect to those devices today. So there is still some large effort to bring true machine integrity into blockchain. We might bring people integrity, but it's no different to me saying, hey, you're my mate, I've been working with you for a while, so we know we trust each other, let's just both agree we trust. I think actually technologies move well beyond that now, and that's the true effort that needs to be sort of investigated and implemented. We've been working with the space, and more recently, you may not have seen the underpinning work with the GIA. You know, they're a scientific laboratory that gives true deepness in terms of the forensic and material composition of stones. So that That part alone actually gives independent, verifiable trust. Not because GIA are a good bunch of blokes, and that's not the case, right? Because they have scientific methodology that is absolutely truth at that very core. So that's really what the difference is in terms of what true integrity is in terms of blockchain.
So when we're thinking about all this, the blockchain isn't just some magical pill. It's going to solve the problems of sourcing and source certification in the industry, but it's a tool. It's a way. It's a direction that we're taking which utilizes modern technology to help us to document what is actually happening with our materials.
Look, I liken it, I take vitamins every morning, but I couldn't run a marathon, and I'm not match fit to ensure that I've got integrity across the run of fitness. So it's similar.
What she said, no. Two things to add to that. I think there's gigantic hype around blockchain. I mean, gigantic. Anybody that goes to South by Southwest, you couldn't get in the 100 blockchain lectures that there were without waiting in line for 2 hours. So blockchain, Jack. Maybe it's overhyped at this point. But I think like Bill Gates said about the internet, it may be greatly overestimated right now, but it's very underestimated in the long term. And I think that one of the things Leanne spoke about, we have to learn how to create that API where it's her blockchain and my blockchain and your blockchain can talk to each other. So there's not dictums that says you've got to go it this way. It's co-opetition. It's not competition as to whose blockchain is better. It's get a blockchain, define those nodes, get the integrity, ensure the integrity, and then let's find out if we want to talk to each other and to make our chains consistent with each other and trustful.
All right, so I think that we're almost out of time here, and I have 1 or 2 slides to finish, but I think that to summarize this, the blockchain is going to be great for the diamond industry, for the jewelry industry, and for many industries. And it's sort of like the beginning of the internet days where we have new technology that is going to enable us in all kinds of ways that we can't even fully identify at this stage. But none of us should buy into the hype that just because something is blockchain, it means that the diamond or the jewelry is legitimate. It's simply, just because something has a KP certificate means it's legitimate. In other words, we always have to look what's underneath the hood, underneath the technology, underneath the documentation, to the basis of who we are as people. What are our values? How are other human beings in the world being impacted by how we spend our money and what we buy and where we buy and how we buy? So
yeah, there's a phrase to get used a lot in our industry called know your counterparty.
Right.
That's gigantically important here.
So that's not, so blockchain is not going to change that.
You've got to have a link between partners that you can trust, all the way up and down.
All right, so thank you very much. You want to say something, Leanne, to close?
No, it's okay.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah, he talks, this guy.
I'm sorry, I still believe
Don't be
in Santa
sorry,
Claus.
you're great. You're a lot of fun.
You ruined Santa Claus for me.
No, go ahead. Say what you want to say. You're good. We're all good here?
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. And Mark, and I'm learning that I have to finish on time, and we only have another, well, we don't even have another minute, so let me end this. So it's conclusion. The diamond industry is under pressure. No denying that. Diamond manufacturers in India feel incredible pressure. Jewelers, incredible pressure. Dealers, wholesalers, Israelis, unbelievable pressure. As distribution is being squeezed by big players lining up exclusive rough-to-retail channels. Exclusive rough-to-retail channels. Understand that, everybody. The U.S. trade must take on a more proactive role protecting their interests. We've been literally, horribly misabused. The current rough diamond supply chain is tainted with dirty diamonds. It's a fact until someone here explains the $2 billion out of Dubai, the $3.3 billion, the NAML and CTF laws in India. Until all those things get cleared up, I want everybody to know there's a good chance you're selling dirty diamonds in your store today. Just face up to it. Buyers must take on a more proactive role with suppliers to ensure an ethical supply chain. Make no mistake, who buys the diamond is responsible for where the money goes. So you guys, America, us guys, 51% of the market, $41 billion, we are responsible for where that $41 billion goes. Money is great and money is poison. How we spread our money around is fundamental to who we are, not just business-wise, but ethically, morally. How do you sleep at night, everybody? We got to go beyond. We got to solve these problems. The Rapaport Group, we make every effort to ensure that De Beers allows its client to disclose their sources, and we need your support. I'm getting old. I'm getting tired. I can't do this myself. I'll be traveling to Surat. Join me when we get the deal to Surat. Everybody, from the smallest retailer who wants a little adventure trip, you can sleep in your sleeping bag along with Ezzy in Koryardu like he did last week. Sleeping bag. Don't have to be a rich man to go to Sierra Leone, I can assure you. And come to Surat with me. Just come. Come and see. You don't have to buy diamonds. I'm not here to hustle you. Come, see, love. Love. You understand who these people are. Get to know them because they're just like you. They're being squeezed. They're under pressure. They're looking for your name and your friendship, but they're also looking to have relationships. So we're going to be going out there, and I ask you finally, please transcend the product to the people. Last note for my team, thank you for coming to the breakfast. If you have a chance, please talk to the people at Rapaport. There's 30-something of us over here. I think Savil's come up here to get me going. Yes, there's going to be a 10 o'clock thing, but I want you to stop by our booth or our people, or if you see someone with a Rapaport badge, see how we can help your business and how we can help you to grow your profitability as well. We are in this business, and we are here to help people in an advocacy manner, not adversarial, but advocacy manner, how we can work with your companies and all these different things that we're doing. And lastly, we have the 10 o'clock meeting, which will start a minute ago. Where is it? Where is it? What's the name of the room? Anybody know the name of the room? Sherry, somebody? I can't hear you. Where? Well, there's a room right around the corner from here that the minister will be at, and we'll be talking about social responsibility. All of you are welcome. Thank you very much. Have a great day at the show.